You know that Babz on his weekly rant. These are just my cliff notes at Gillette. You can hear them scream when we touch the end zone. We ain't here to wrestle with you or put up a fight. We give you the raw news each and every Monday night. We kicked it with the Hall of Famer Megatron, but now we ain't Decepticons. They all feel the flow cause the levee's gone. Tailgating, everybody pull the grills out. Going live on IG and send them reels out cause we the seasoning. They call us the Salt N Pepper Boyz. You know we leading them. We the best in Boston, making noise. Count us out, that's not a smart bet. You can't rob Kraft for the win. We got Belichick. You know we punch it straight through the gut. Now that's a belly check. This the power hour where we always keep it deli fresh. That's the way we cook it up.
But you know, just at least to do it in the shower. What's going on? My name is Clifford Bonet, and we are back as the Boston Power Hour. We're back. It's been a busy week. It's been real busy as I'm over here just setting up a couple things. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would like to start off this podcast just by saying I want to apologize. I want to apologize to my brethren, a.k.a. Babz, former Spike King. And the reason for that is it's been 3 years since we've been doing this Boston Power Hour thing. And he's been like, Cliff, man, you need to come out. You need to come out. You need to come out. And I'm not talking about just going out and just having a few beers, but come out to these tailgates that he's been going out to. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm an old guy. I just never listened. And I'm going to tell you, man, wow. Salute. I don't have the clap button ready, but salute to Ramon. Salute to everybody. Salute to everybody that continues to participate in this tailgate because, ladies and gentlemen, wow. My mind was blown. Like, I don't get it, but welcome.
It was fantastic. That was our 5th tailgate down at MetLife. Right, we started it back in 2018, just coming together because of social media, meeting Ramon through social media, and we had like a small group of probably about 25, 30 people like the first time around. Funny enough, the first time around too, Camille Kostek, which is Gronk's girlfriend, stopped by. And then it morphed into 2019. 2019 was a Monday Night Football game, not as big. Then COVID happened, so it just ruined everything. But right after COVID in 2021, we got everybody together, promoted it heavy, and the first year back was like 100 or so people. And then, 2022, again, we had about 130, 140, 50. Then even with the weather of what it was on Sunday, just to see the turnout by everybody. And I tell anybody, you live in the New England area, come down to MetLife. It's only a couple-hour drive. It's a long day, like if you go back and you go down there the day of and whatnot. But Ramon put so much heart and so much love into the tailgate, and everybody's welcomed. And you saw that down there, just a mix of everybody at the tailgate. So
melting pot for real. Like melting pot for real.
I'm telling everybody. Look at put the camera on me. If you have an opportunity, go down there November 26th. Patriots at Giants. It's a 1:00 game. I will be there. Ramon will be there. Cliff said he's going to go. GRD even said he might come back for the next one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely worth it. We can't control what happens on the field, but we can at least control the fun and excitement outside of the stadium, and that's what we did. And rain or shine. I mean, this was our first one with the rain. And it went amazing. So, again, shout out to Ramon, and also shout out, if she's watching out there, Caitlin, she's out there hustling for the raffle. We did a raffle, raised money for the tailgate, and it's just great to see everyone come together.
And to me, I think that's the most important and crucial part is that you could just come by. If you're part of the gang, just eat. And the spread was unreal. It wasn't just like milk and cookies and something lame. Like, this dude was really chefing. You know what I mean? I'm out there producing. I'm kind of mad I didn't get to eat as much as we'll call our cameraman rudely. He was pounding some food. But I'm going to tell you, like, it was genuine. The preparation, you could see, obviously, he had it prepped at home, brought it there, and just cooked everything there. So nothing was like frozen foods, like good meat, good just everything. The Hennessy was out, like everything was out. It was just a really good time. And like you said, the weather did nothing to change the vibe. And to me, that speaks volumes of just the people, the camaraderie of Patriot fans. Because they always say we're kind of assholes sometimes.
I mean, it sucked like getting out there at 8 a.m. and it's, it's
that
raining,
part.
and I'm the only one standing there like this, like, hey, you just got to accept it.
Yeah.
And it was off and on with the rain, but you make do with it, and it's some things that we weren't able to do at this tailgate that Ramon wanted. Just want you to have a fun time. So
yeah, I'm gonna say, because I walked around, right, and I'm over here just doing my geeky nerd thing. Because one, I was just like, wow, people are here. Two, I remember our meetup time was supposed to be, what, 6:45 or something like that?
I say 6:45. You got to be at the hotel.
At
that
the
we meet
hotel,
at,
and I was like, oh, these guys are crazy. But I was like, no, I'm gonna make it on time. I'm just not gonna go my way. And 7:30, we're just sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, they're not letting anyone in. And I turned back. The line
get crazy.
It was out of control.
This was our first year where we go in a specific area, and we were probably the 10th car there. And then the same thing. Once you start looking back, everyone's piled up. They open their lot up right at 8 o'clock. So, I mean, it's important to get there and important to grab our spot where we always are too. We have a good spot too.
That was a really cute, good spot. Porta potties was dope.
Except someone fucking took a shit in one of them.
Yeah, that was a little crazy to me.
I don't know who did that.
Then, you know, thank God, there were a bunch of other porta potties. It's not walkable distance, like literally 15 seconds from each other. So shout outs to them. They actually do a really good job.
I like it too, because you talk about production is pictures, like pictures at the tailgate, having MetLife in the background, and it says MetLife Stadium.
Yes.
I mean, you're looking at that, and the Food Network was there, and they were filming some stuff, and they looked at the same way. They got in the back of Ramon's truck, they're filming it. You have the stadium in the background. It's a great time. Like, you know, just running through, like, we have people that live in New Jersey that come down, people
Atlanta.
from New England. We had Atlanta who just got married. And he flew up.
Shout out to
Germany.
him.
We had a family from Germany that comes by. And what's cool is, like, I know I get a lot of hate on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it nowadays, because not many people know me on there, and I'm starting to try to build myself up. There was people that came to the tailgate. They don't follow me on Instagram. They follow me on Twitter. Like, oh, I follow your Twitter. I saw your tweet. I saw this. I don't really know who you are yet. Like, blah, blah, blah. And they had a great time. Like, my whole thing, that shit ain't about me. Like, the tailgate isn't about, like, me. Like, I'm not making it about myself. It's about Ramon, first of all, and it's about everybody else having a great time. So that's why I'm telling everyone. I stress it. Like, come out November 26th, and you, like, will not be disappointed.
For sure. I just can't continue to just be. I was in shock.
I'm still recovering, by the way, too.
Yeah, and shout outs to you making the call, because we're trying to make this consistent and do it on Tuesdays. But
I was already feeling sick as is.
No voice.
I was feeling sick as is, like, I think it was the 15th of September, and then just being in the rain for like 12 hours.
Yeah, that did help.
Has not helped me at all. So
but again, salute to everybody that helped.
Too, you know?
And I think what was pretty cool is not only the setup, but the breaking down. Everybody, everyone they wanted to go in. Everyone pitched in.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a true team effort. Really dope.
That's cool.
You know what? I'm going to say, I'm feeling a little weird here. There's a lot of positive vibes. Let's get to the rant, bro. Because I know there's something that you have to rant about, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, the thing is this, you know, like I said, the tailgate is the tailgate. We can control that. We can't control what happens inside the stadium. But, I mean, the Jets are the Jets, right? Like, the Jets are the Jets. If there's one thing right in this world, it's the Jets are the Jets. I can't believe it. Now, I would have loved to see the Patriots go against Aaron Rodgers, and yeah, it would have been a tough test. And both of us, I'm pretty sure, said that they probably would have lost the Jets if they had Aaron Rodgers. But the Jets are the Jets. I mean, you put all this money into Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to hear the excuses. Well, if we had Aaron Rodgers, this would have happened. You didn't have him. You didn't have him. And it's just so great that the Patriots, things haven't gone their way. But they're not the Jets. Like, they are not on that level. And Bill Belichick, I just don't get this, because I was frustrated about certain things of the game, but Belichick knew he had that game in his control when it was 3-0, and all he did the entire time was dangle that little carrot in front of him saying, we're going to keep you in this, but we're going to control it the entire time. That's what it felt like out of Bill Belichick. Here's the thing. The Buffalo Bills, this is post-Brady era, Buffalo Bills have caught up, and they own you. They do, right? Miami Dolphins have caught up, and they own the Patriots, and it sucks to say that. The New York Jets have had time. You've had time to prep for this.
Yeah.
And you still couldn't do it. And there's no excuses. You drafted Zach Wilson, 2nd overall pick, and you still can't do it. You have this amazing defense. You still can't do it. The Patriots are still better than the Jets. I will take that. That's my moral victory, I'm guessing.
But I want to say this. Let me just throw this in there. The one thing that annoyed me, not annoyed me, but I guess shocked me, the second play of the game, the fans are booing. Holy shit. Dear Jets fans, you deserve everything that's happening to you right now, because you guys are horrible fans. I was sitting next to this, I guess, season ticket holder, older gentleman, kind of sleeping. He's like, we've been miserable for 50-something years. And I'm like, yeah, but like you have actually, they have a good team. They need a quarterback. That's what it is.
So the funny thing about the Jets fans, which by the way, I didn't get into any arguments, no fights, no nothing. Like, I think that they were already depressed going into this game. They were. So just going in the last couple of years, right? Like in 2021, it's Mac Jones versus Zach Wilson, right? And there's a lot of hype going into that game. It's rookie versus rookie. Go to that game. They're lubed up. They're excited, Jets fans. And Zach Wilson threw 4 interceptions that game. And when we came out of that game, everyone's heads were down saying, oh my God, like we done it again. Like this is not going to be right. Then obviously last year, Halloween, like going in there and crushing them. It was a close game. They felt it. And the Jets at the time were over 500. They were 5-2 going into that game. The Patriots weren't that good going into that game. And still the Patriots come out with the victory. And then you go into year 3 right now, and the Jets had a better record than the Patriots going into the game. And I think some of the mindset in the tailgates were, we have a chance to send Bill Belichick 0-3 to start the season. Like, this could be our time to finally put the Patriots down and get that team all jumbled up on Monday and this and that. And it didn't work out in their favor. I think they had the ball first. You had the chance, and then they punted, and I feel like right when the Patriots went 3-0, everybody in that stadium knew it was over. Dude, it was already done with.
Second play, and they're booing.
They are booing. And
horrible.
They have the right to boo because you drafted this kid 2nd overall. And and I can't understand the pain that they're going through. Like, we can a little bit with, like, we left Brady's gone, and like we could have still had Brady at the top of the game. And to have Aaron Rodgers there, and they won week 1, like against Buffalo, like you felt like you have something. I think that they know that their season is done for. Cliff, I said this the last time we met, and I couldn't find it, the timestamp, but I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to repeat this again.
Go ahead.
For a little timestamp here. At what point do the New York Jets pull the plug on the season? Because I said this a couple weeks ago. The Jets started 1-0. They lose to Dallas. Now you lose to New England. They have Kansas City coming up on Sunday Night Football. That's a loss right there. They're going to Denver. Maybe that's a win. That could be a loss. But then they got Philadelphia, and then they got the bye week. At what point do you just pull the plug on the season to rest up the players? Like, do you want Sauce Gardner to get hurt in a crappy game in week 12 or 13? Do you want Garrett Wilson to get hurt at some point this season? Do you want Breece Hall to get hurt again? Like, you have Dalvin Cook. You have a team. They're going to get Aaron Rodgers back at some point. They can still get a top pick and try to focus on to next season. But the Jets being the Jets, if you continue this and don't pull the plug on the season, someone's going to get hurt, or you're going to do more damage to your team than you will do good. It is hard to tell professional athletes, we're pulling the plug on the season. We're pulling the plug,
for sure.
Like, it's hard to say we're done, it's over with, but I think if the Jets, like, that's your option. Like, you have to do that at this point. Save yourselves for next year. Tank in a way, like, you're not getting Caleb Williams, but tank so you have a better schedule next year. You're going to play against the low-end teams, right? Like, if you're the 4th seed, you're playing against other 4 seeds.
Getting Rodgers will probably be a little rusty.
You're going to get Rodgers back. Like, there's a lot of hype into Rodgers. I mean, and rightfully so. So that's what their focus should be. At least for the Patriots, you're going to have 2 wins on the season. You got 1 there, you'll get 1 week 18.
I will say this, and I asked you this question. Now, if you're the Jets and you're the owner and you see what it is, but you do have this talent, you kind of just need a quarterback just to manage your team. Get a few first downs here and there. I think there are options out there. I don't want to name your boy because I don't want to put him in that situation because we know I don't want to see you break down. But like a Stidham, a Jameis Winston, those are quarterbacks I think that could be available to you, even though I said 4 games, it's coming close. I think Stidham's going to be starting, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Would you not think that they would at least make that attempt? Or I know they have no money because they gave all the money to Rodgers, but what would you do in that particular situation outside of, taking that road of we're not going to say crashing the season, but not really trying.
Well, yeah, you're doing more damage to Zach Wilson in the long term of things. And like we just ran it down, like Kansas City, Denver, and Philly. I feel like the next 3 weeks, you kind of have to roll with what you have, and you can go into the bye week and then reassess it. At what point, any free agent quarterback out there, why would you want to come to this team? It's actually going to do more damage for you probably than help you. So I think that they've dug their own grave. I mean, everyone keeps talking about, well, why didn't they keep Mike White, blah, blah, blah? Because you had Aaron Rodgers and you had Zach Wilson backing him up. You did not think, if Aaron Rodgers was going to go down at some point, they probably didn't think it was going to be week 1. They probably would have thought, well, at least we can get 12 weeks out of him. Or
4 plays,
weeks.
guys.
Like,
Come on.
you can get at least half a season, that's enough time to build Zach Wilson up in the season to get him some confidence and get going. Like, he got thrown to the wolves right away, and everything got completely fucked up. That's why Mike White's not there. At this point, it sounds crazy. People hate it. Colin Kaepernick is probably the right move if you want to actually come back to the NFL.
You know what?
I don't want to tie into, well, he hasn't played in 7 years and he keeps begging for things and he said a lot of bad things about the NFL and slavery and blah, 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 blah. I mean, he literally will be better than Zach Wilson at this point.
And he can run.
Hey, if you want it.
Because your offensive line sucks.
Yeah, I mean, if you want it, just give it to him at this point. Like, what worse is Colin Kaepernick going to do for that team? That's what I look at it. I mean, if I'm a Matt Ryan, like my agent looked into it, it didn't work out, I don't want to do it. Even Carson Wentz, like someone who's like him, that's a veteran, like I would look at it and be like, I don't even think this helps me. That situation might not help anybody. It sucks because it's a salvageable season.
Yes,
like
they
have players.
They do.
But I just don't think there's enough on the market for quarterbacks out there that would, like be able to step in and do something. It's very tough.
I think the Kaepernick thing is probably their best move for 2 reasons. One, he'll come in real cheap. I don't want to say he's desperate, but he's desperate.
He might not want to come in real cheap, though. He might be like, I want $15 million. And then it's like kind of like on you now.
Yeah.
If anything, the NFL should be using, if it's the fight of Colin Kaepernick saying, like, I want to play and I want all this money, then the Jets should just, like, call his bluff. And the Jets should be like, okay, we're going to pay you.
Yeah, prove it.
And prove it.
Yeah.
And then what if Colin Kaepernick's like, maybe I don't want to do this. All right, now that should die.
That's done.
That's done.
That conversation's done.
Maybe that's, just use it that way. And I also think Colin Kaepernick will bring eyeballs in. People are going to want to watch. People want to root against him. That's why. There's other people that want to root for him. I think it would save.
It's a good marketing move.
It would, yeah. If the NFL's scripted and the NFL like cheats and helps teams out, hey, Jets, just take them. And like, we'll make sure that you get a top pick, or we'll make sure everything's going on.
Well, unlike the NFL, I can control the script. We've had enough conversation with them. Let's talk about our guys. Let's talk about this guy. He showed up, man.
Great seeing Zeke Elliott getting mixed in. What do you have? Over 70 yards for the game. Definitely what you need to see going in to the Dallas game. His little return coming up here. Zeke Elliott was kind of the one who was towards the end of the game. I know they threw Stevenson in. We can talk about that in a little bit, but I mean, he was carrying that team, and it's great to see that the offensive line looked a lot better in week 3.
Yep.
And Trent Brown, by the way, had the best like PFF grade for the week. That $2 million definitely helped him out. The run game got going when you needed it. It was pretty gross outside. It was. At one drive, it would rain. The next drive would stop. The next drive, it would rain. It was back and forth. It was sloppy. I noticed a couple times Mac had a couple throws out there right there, and the breadbasket dropped. But it's good for Zeke to start getting into it. That's what we want to see. I said this. I've said this. The first 2 weeks of the the first 2 weeks of the season is the extension of the preseason. That's what Bill Belichick said in the past. That's why I told you the season starts on September 24th. The Patriots are 1-0. That's the way I look at it. I don't care about the first 2 games. They won against the Jets. You're 1-0, and you're going into Dallas.
Division.
And they look pretty good overall against the Jets, considering the conditions and what was going on in the game and how the game managed it, X, Y, and Z. I think they have something to build off of that. They have momentum to build into Dallas.
I want to piggyback off of that because a lot of people are not giving the Patriots, I think, enough credit. The Jets have a really good defense, man. Like, really good defense. They played, like you said, in horrible weather. They manage the game. And then guess what? We also have a pretty good defense. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
So I knew at some point this week there was going to be a safety in the NFL because there was a thing going on like Twitter and TikTok about no safeties, and someone hit that bet the week before. I feel like everyone was hitting it. This game was truly a Bill Belichick masterclass. And it's frustrating if you're a Mac Jones supporter and you want to see offense, but Bill trusted his defense. He knows Zach Wilson is that bad that we can just keep punting the ball away and we will get the ball back. So, again, in the fourth quarter, it's a little bit tricky. We'll get into it in a bit, I'm sure. But, you trust your defense, you pin them right on the goal line, and you let Zach Wilson make all the mistakes. And that's what they did. Now, there was a couple times where I thought in the fourth quarter, the Jets had a really great long drawn-out drive. I think it was like 10:30 to go, and they ate 5 minutes off the clock, and they scored a touchdown. It's. I wanted to see like a shutout. I wanted to see like a 10-3 game. I wanted to see that for the defense. But again, Judon getting the safety.
Yep.
Judon now is 10th all-time in Patriots sacks.
That's
He's only
amazing.
played 37
That's
games
unreal.
so far, and he has 8 more sacks than he's going to be the 7th overall. It's great. I think that was just a great team win. Great to see that on defense. To now know you're going into Dallas in a controlled environment for the weather, and you can steal a game out there.
So, another point I just want to grab from that, right? We really controlled that game. Did you ever feel as though we might lose this outside of that Hail Mary?
Yeah, that's the only time I felt that they were going to lose it was the Hail Mary, because we've seen it a couple times.
Bad shit happens
where
to us, man.
Shit happens, and it could happen, and they shouldn't have been in that spot.
At all.
They should not have had, Zach Wilson should have never had the ball at the end of the game. That's simple put.
And it's funny you say that, because to me, I saw a couple of opportunities, and we talked about this off air, where our quarterback should have finished the game. What's your thoughts on that?
And that's my thing right there. I was waiting for is that I was disappointed in fourth quarter Mac Jones. I mean, time and time again, we've said, like, we haven't seen Mac Jones get a game winner, right? Like, just that one time against Houston. We haven't really seen that much fight. Now, I've said this. It's not a knock on him, but he's a game manager, and that's what he did exactly against the Jets. He game managed. He's going to have games where he could throw 3 touchdowns and 300 yards like he did week 1.
Yep.
So what was frustrating is that it's 5 minutes to go. The Jets had a nice drive. They went down 5 minutes, but there's 5 minutes left on the clock, and you have the ball, and at that point, I believe you're up 3 points, and you decide to punt it about 3 or 4 different times.
Right.
Like, even after the Judon sack, you get the ball back.
Right.
The game should be over. It should be done with. And somehow, some way, you still have to punt it and give the Jets at least one more opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Yeah, the dangling the carrot, which I talked about, how Belichick was just doing that, like dangling the carrot. You guys have a chance. You guys have a chance. It's cute to do that for 59 minutes. You should have closed out at that point.
Agreed.
Like, you can't give this team an opportunity, just like the Miami Miracle. You could have had a freaking Meadowlands Miracle on your hands, and that would have really been detrimental to the franchise. But it is what it is. They got the win. I just would have liked to see Mac Jones close it out on his own. If he could go out there and get a couple first downs, milk the clock, and have the ball and kneel in formation, he should be the one who's doing the kneel to win the game. That would have felt a lot better, even in an ugly win. That would have felt so much better. So I think rightfully so, fans have the right to say, offense didn't look great, Mac didn't look great. I'm with you, because he should have fucking closed that game out.
Let's talk about the offense. I want to question Billy O'Brien. I didn't like some of the play calls. First of all, who's number 86? Holy shit. I see touchdown. I was like, yo, who's that? I didn't have my glasses with me. I had just my stunners, and I couldn't tell. I was like, who the hell is that? 1, how did that happen? 2, is it because they didn't even scout this guy and they're like, let this guy run? But 2, Billy O, we were kind of told, like, you know what? You understand. You're kind of like this mastermind. You and Mac have worked really well. I understand the offensive line can't give you as much time, even though they did play much better, even though the running game played much better. I'm just not seeing the transition or Mac becoming Alabama Mac with Billy O. What's your thoughts on that, man? Because to me, it's like, we got to get better with that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I believe after 3 weeks in the NFL season, you're looking at the Patriots offense. The hype was there with Bill O'Brien, and you just haven't seen anything. Again, I talk about the extension of preseason, and you're kind of being cute early on, and you're trying new things out here and there. I think week 4 now with Dallas coming up, this is it.
Yep.
Like, we need to see what you actually have on offense going forward.
Who are we?
It's now a month into the season, right? I don't know if they have any certain trick plays up their sleeves or whatever it might be. You unload everything against Dallas in terms of offense. We need to see the offense open up. We saw in the first week against Philly how Mac could have 3 touchdowns and 300 yards. You can see the crawling back and the fighting. Then you see game managing Mac. Like, let's put it all together against Dallas and see what we got. Because if you go 1-3, in the season, even though I said the Pats are 1-0. If you start the season 1-3 and you're going to New Orleans game and you're kind of seeing another 17 point, like, that's all you get out of your offense, it's going to be bad for Bill O'Brien. Again, I talked about this preseason. Bill O'Brien's trying to coach himself back into the league for a head coaching gig, and you're not doing that right now. So it's week 3 coming, and I agree. Like, what you have is what you have. They're not bringing anybody in here. And if they wanted to, they had chances to do it already with DeAndre Hopkins. They got Zeke Elliott. Did you kind of have what you have?
It is what it is right now, and I think going into Dallas, honestly, is a really good opportunity for them to just say, all right, we have a controlled environment. We can't say, hey, we're slipping. We can't say, can't get off these routes. We're on turf. We're indoors. Hey, Mac, I want to see you throw the ball. But unfortunately, Billy O'Brien, you got to give him the opportunity.
It's funny to look back on our preseason prediction of like the wins and losses, and we both put wins for Dallas.
Right.
We said at that time, Dallas doesn't look scary. Then we do the knee-jerk reactions. Week 1, Dallas smokes the Giants 40-0. Then week 2, it's like, well, they got the Jets, but they put up decent points on the Jets, like 30 points on the Jets.
Right.
And it was at home. So, then Dallas plays Arizona, right? So now Arizona beats Dallas. Knee-jerk reactions here. I actually think if the Patriots lose to Dallas, it makes the Patriots look a lot worse.
Agreed.
In terms of power rankings and everything, the Arizona Cardinals are supposed to be one of the worst teams of the league, and they're fighting. They're fighting tooth and nail. That's fine, like all teams do. But if the Arizona Cardinals can beat Dallas, and they can put up points on Dallas, and if the Patriots can't put up points on Dallas and they lose, that makes the Pats look so bad.
Really bad.
It puts you down to the bottom of the league. Because if you can't beat, that was the one thing, if you can't beat the Jets, if you can't beat Dallas where Arizona beats Dallas, where does that really put you in everything?
Yeah.
It's Dallas week there's going to be a lot of fans out there, a lot of Patriots fans. You know how many people at the tailgate were coming up to me saying like, yo, are you going to Dallas next week? I'm going to be in Dallas.
Really?
Seeing it on social media the last couple of weeks, just like, are you going to Dallas? You going to Dallas? I'll be there. I'll be there. There's going to be a lot of fans down there. This is the game you have to take advantage in. Those first 2 weeks didn't go your way. You can you can right the ship right now. Like, you can do this. If you can go 2-2, if they can be 2-2, they'll be 2-0 technically in my world. But if they go 2-2, you're on the right path.
You are on the path.
You look at New Orleans coming up. They might not have Derek Carr for the next couple weeks. Jimmy Garoppolo could be out for the next couple weeks against the Raiders. If you could win the 4 straight games, you can do it. I can believe it now against the Saints and Raiders now, like where their teams are. If you can do it against Dallas, win 4 straight and be 4-2, 4-0 in my world, but 4-2 against Buffalo, you're looking really good in shape. Where you can lose to Buffalo and
give
still
a nice and give yourself a nice little bit of momentum. And I think with the momentum, you need it. And I'm going to say this: a lot of people are not looking at the total package as in team. Dallas looked like a force. Why? Because they had a shutdown corner. Guess what? Dallas loses Diggs. When I tell you this is such a big deal, because now Michael Parsons has to get to the quarterback that much faster. Their defense needs to hold on that much longer because you can't break down one side of the field. And to me, this is such an opportunity for the Patriots to say, hey, listen, we're going to test out this offense. We're going to put it out. You know what? Can't we just give Mac Jones maybe a bootleg here and there? Can we just not do that one time? Maybe some screen plays because they're coming in.
This is a game where you got to throw a lot.
Yeah.
You got to throw a lot. Like you said, Parsons has to get to the quarterback that much quicker. You got to spread it out a lot, I don't care who it is at this point, who wants to step up. You got to get the ball out quick as possible and let your receivers do all the work. Similar to like a Philly, like if you're going to have to throw the ball 50 times, go ahead and throw it 50 times.
Right. But
I think you can beat them in the air. That's how you're going to end up doing it. I know there's a lot of talk. I'm hyping myself up in my little brain about Zeke and like, I want to see him score twice, this and that, and get the run game going. We saw it against the Jets. I think there was enough there that we can build off of that. This game around, it'll be huge for tight ends. It's going to be huge for the short game. It's going to be huge. Like, spread the ball out, get everybody out there. Just have Max go and shotgun if you have to. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's a big game for the receivers coming up. You got to take advantage of what you can in the NFL.
KB, where are you? I need KB back out there. Gesicki, I think he could do it because their linebackers are not as fast as the other linebackers that we've played against. So I think you could take advantage. But again, it goes back to Billy O. Billy O, what are we doing?
This is your game. Like, this is the perfect storm for you to have. Like, what have you been working with Mac Jones? What have you been working with this offense? It's time to see it against Dallas. And if you can't do it against Dallas, I would say, if you said, Babz, what's a disappointment? they'd have to score at least 21.
You
Like, I
gotta
need
get
to
that.
see 21 points is what I
Agreed.
want to see. 3 touchdowns.
Agreed.
You tell me you can't get 3 touchdowns against Dallas. You should be able to do that.
I agreed. Speaking of getting points, 3 touchdown, we were at the game, but we're watching the scoreboard. I thought it was a malfunction. I was like, these idiots put the wrong numbers up. What is going on over there? And I did say in the beginning of the season, hey, listen, there's a lot of firepower there, but we tend to look at history. We understand Tua gets hurt. We look at this team. This happens here. But look at when he can't get touched. And I would like for Billy O to obviously do the same thing. Obviously, we don't have the horses that they have. But get the ball out. Get the ball out. It's possible. And I'm gonna put you right here. I need you to see your expression. It's time to shut Juju down for a little bit. It's time to shut Juju down for a little bit because he looks as if he's running at the beach with boots on.
Yeah. So a lot to take in there. So first of all, if there is any time to shut Juju down for a short period, it would be next week with Tyquan coming back off the IR. You kind of have to swap somebody out. I figure it might be a guy like Booty. I think Booty might get a couple opportunities if he's active this upcoming week, but someone's got to sit down, and maybe it is someone like Juju where you take a seat and it is what it is. And I mean, you got Tyquan coming back. You still have some depth at the wide receiver position. So it is frustrating. They were just talking about this on the drive-in about Juju and him being hurt, and you're kind of taking a risk. You're trying to hopefully Juju gets back to what he was pre-injury, this and that. It is what it is. I don't want to dwell on that. Looking at that Miami and Denver game, a couple different ways to look at it. For number one, Miami, I told you before the season, dark horse to win it all. Tua should be comeback player of the year. It was not going to be DeMar Hamlin. It should be Tua. It's still a long season.
Right.
You know, you can't knee jerk right now.
Things happen.
And the best thing is that the Dolphins play the Bills this week, so let them beat up on each other.
Yes.
That's why it's much important to win against Dallas to keep yourself right there. You don't want too much separation with Miami, and you got Miami in a couple weeks too, right after Buffalo. So it's important weeks coming up here. On the flip side, Denver Broncos. You know where my agenda is going to be. You know where I'm rooting for. And I actually am going to say this. It's not all on Russell Wilson. Not so much. I mean, I'm not watching the games, but I'm looking at the stats. I'm looking by the play-by-play. A lot of 3-and-outs by Russell Wilson. So you're getting your defense back out there that's already tired as is in Miami. I actually saw a comparison of Russell Wilson and Pat Mahomes. They have very similar stats, almost identical stats right now in the season right now. So it's not all on Russell.
Right.
But the Denver Broncos, they have the Chicago Bears coming up this week in Chicago.
That should be a win.
And they have the New York Jets coming up.
Right.
So those are two, they should be wins. If you lose to the Bears or you're losing at halftime or whatever, you might see Stidham come in and try to give them that extra spark. Those are 2 wins that they should at least, get back into where they need to be and put some more focus into it. But, I mean, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know where people know where my agenda is.
I like your agenda.
I want Stidham to get an opportunity. I don't think Russell Wilson is that bad. I mean, if there's any opportunity, Russell Wilson should be filling in for the Jets right now, and I think they'd be good. They're not going to do that. It's too late in the season, and you're not going to trade within the AFC and all that bullshit, and the money as well too. But
but you know what? Can we all just do one thing? Can we just talk about their coach? All that shit he was talking about, you have a team. You're saying this and that and this and that. You didn't slow the game down one bit. You got destroyed. Yes, you're an offensive coach, but it's not working, whatever it is that you're doing. Mr. Payton, you won a Super Bowl. Cool. A lot of people talk shit about that Super Bowl. They said that onside kick should have never happened. Whatever, to me, clever, you got that. But listen, we're going to start checking people's receipts, as the coined phrase is nowadays, because it's not looking good over there, man. Do you have any questions about his coaching style, even though you haven't really sat down and watched their games?
No, I mean, I don't really question Sean Payton yet. He came into a situation which he didn't really have much control over in terms of the players. I mean, it's kind of similar to Josh McDaniels going into the Las Vegas Raiders, right? You got Derek Carr and Devontae Adams and this and that, and you got the team. And now he's scrapped all that and trying to put his own focus in there. I think they're going to give Sean Payton a couple more years. I think it just him not firing their defensive coordinator after that. There was Vance Joseph. Like that's a terrible move. So they're on that tightrope right now where you can lose the locker room instantly, and like, what do you do going forward for the rest of the season? What do you do going into next year? So I won't blame the coach entirely. You got pantsed. Like that's such an embarrassing loss.
Yes.
Again, you know where my agenda is. I literally don't give two shits. Keep losing. I want Stidham out there.
Yeah.
And it would be so sweet if Stidham could go out there and get their first victory of the season.
Yep.
Like that's what I want. So, you know, it is what it is. Again, I don't think Russell Wilson's been terrible. I think that Miami team just took advantage of it, and you know, thinking more about it, Mike McDaniel is from Colorado. He grew up a Broncos fan. He was a Broncos ball boy.
All
it makes sense. It all makes sense, like why he would want to put up 70 points on that team, where they didn't even give him an opportunity for an interview when they had the head coaching gig up there. So.
That script is looking good, man.
It
now
looks
let's talk about this script over here, man. These guys, thoughts?
They look fantastic after the week 1 blunder that they had against the Jets in MetLife. Back-to-back very, very solid wins. I thought the rain was going to have a big factor in that game, and they ended up winning 37-3 against Washington. That's the type of wins the Patriots would have, right? Like we said this in the 3 years we've been doing this. I keep saying the Bills look like the Patriots sometimes, the old Patriots, in terms of the way they're winning games.
Yeah.
Like they're winning games big like that. So a lot of eyes for Patriots Nation. You guys should be watching Bills versus Dolphins this week and see how those two can pit up against each other. You got to sneak out your victory in Dallas just to stay afloat. And you got both those teams back-to-back coming up in a couple weeks. But, I mean, those two are powerhouses. They own the AFC East.
I want to see Miami win. Simply because I think
you might have a better chance to catch up to Buffalo than you can Miami.
I think so. I think so. And I think we could actually steal a win because of their confidence. Maybe we can play that against them. Maybe they might be feeling undefeated at that time. And I think maybe that's a chance you just steal a win. One beautiful thing that we could say just about the NFL is just it's changing week to week, ladies and gentlemen. Week to week, you feel this way, you feel that way. One thing I will say that I came out feeling is that the New England Patriots are not just going to let down. But the other thing that I'm actually feeling is that, again, they're not giving Mac an opportunity to try. I actually just want him to go out there, try, throw a shitload of interceptions. We said, they opened up the books. It just didn't work out. He can't make the throw. And I don't want to forecast anything, right? Because I want to stay in the moment. But I don't want to have questions about who Mac Jones is next year. I don't want that for us fans. That would be, I think, an utter failure. And I think I told you, I brought my son. I was a chaperone, and we went to Gillette, and I went through the Hall of Fame, and it reminded me, holy shit, of what we went through. But it also reminded me of no, we gut things out. We continue to fight. So I got excited. I'm like, okay. Just as I'm speaking, again, a little bit of chills, saying, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're Patriot fans. We've been here before. We have our coach. We have the right formula. Everybody needs to kind of check their egos at the door and do their job. How about just doing your job? You remember that motto?
Yeah.
It's not coming out anymore. What's going on?
Yeah, the new motto of it's all going to take us and no one's coming is so cringy.
Yeah.
that I like it. It's motivation, this and that. They need an actual do your job type of thing. To do your job and all that, let's fucking go and all that. That's all Brady era. So you need something new, you need something different. The good thing about the Patriots, I've always said this, is that they're going to stay competitive, like you said. Against Dallas, even if they lose to Dallas, it's going to end up being somehow a close game. I don't see them getting blown out against Dallas.
No Denver here.
No Denver. But, they stay competitive against the good teams. They stay right there, and they always beat the bad teams. The Jets are the bad team. You beat them. You move on. Dallas is a good team. You're going to stay competitive, and hopefully you finally get a victory. That's the one thing. They just cannot get over that hump of getting these wins. That's why getting a win in Dallas is so big for the momentum, because you should beat a Saints team that comes in here. They have some good playmakers, but you should take care of that at home. You should be able to go to Las Vegas and take on a dysfunctional Raiders team right now. That's how you build up some momentum going into that Buffalo game.
Yeah.
It all starts with Dallas because, you lose to Dallas, you're 1-3. You beat the Saints, you beat the Raiders, you're 3-3, but you're still mid. Like, you're still in that mid. Like, it's not good enough to beat Buffalo.
I think it's important if we do lose to Dallas. It depends how we lose to Dallas. I don't want to see a simple, basic game plan, and the reason being is because the Saints defense is fast. They're a really fast defense. They're not bad at all. I think they're having some trouble over there on the offensive side. We'll figure that out, or they'll figure that out. But I was watching their defense. They're okay. They're not that bad. And if you're not allowing Mac Jones to kind of see who his teammates are, who this new tight end or whatever he is, Gesicki, all these other people, letting them play. Let's go back to Henry. Let's not go back to Henry on third down. How about we try to throw on first down? How about we just change? We've just become very predictable. And I think it's the predictability that is not allowing Mac to grow and for us to only see our points being in the teens. We just got to just come out, man, and just let loose.
I almost feel like this game on Sunday is going to be the difference of a win gets you towards a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Like a win on Sunday is I think you can get 10 wins in the season. A loss on Sunday means you're probably going to be an 8-9 team, and you're just going to be in the middle of the pack.
Yep.
You're going to win your games against the bad teams. You're going to lose. It really does decide a lot of things going forward because I know it's early on in the season, but again, it's week 4. We should know what you at least are right now to get you over those next 2 months, into your bye week, right? So I think it's so important on Sunday to just open everything up, like you said, for Mac. It's frustrating. 1 week you're throwing 3 touchdowns, the next week you're throwing 1 touchdown or no touchdowns, and your yards are pretty disgusting. I actually did all the math too on they're playing in a dome.
Yeah.
In Mac Jones' record, I think he's 4-3 in a dome so far. He has only 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He's not that good.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is truly frustrating. And I just got to, from what I'm seeing, I have to just blame the coaching at this point. The players can only do so much, but there's nothing changing. And nothing changing meaning just the plays. Let's see more motion. Let's get to the line a little faster to allow Mac to identify what's going on with the defense. Allow him to audible. Is he allowed to do that? I don't know these things.
Are we going to go back to my theory about how they're going to contain Mac as much as possible this season because they're going to pay him the extension in the offseason, which they're going to lowball him? Because that's what it feels like right now, right?
Yes, it does.
They're kind of chaining Mac Jones down, and they're holding him down, and they don't want to let him go out and be better than what he is. They want to hold it back as much as possible. I know it's so stupid.
It's insane.
It's so stupid, but it kind of makes sense now, doesn't
So
it?
are we saying that the owner is willing to just do that to save a couple of dollars? And
it's not the owner, it's Bill.
So again, I have to say, is it the owner?
Yeah.
Because if I'm the owner, Bill Belichick's name is going to be, he's on the hot seat again. Mac Jones, he's always been on the hot seat. And we're talking about next year, and how we didn't prepare for the exit of Brady. All of the nuances, all that conversation will continue to happen. You know how much I love Tom Brady. But it's time to just kind of just move on. We haven't moved on yet, officially. Yeah. Are we going to keep talking about, we want to keep Bill around because of the record? I don't think the Crafts want to let go of 2 GOATs. Yeah. I think that would be a huge stain, and I compare that to what Jerry Krause did with the Chicago Bulls. You don't want that. Do you want to just keep the happy people coming in? What is it, October 5th? They're going to finally open up that the Lighthouse.
Yep.
I want to go. I want to be there. But if my team's not doing well, do I really want to go? I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
In the alternate universe, if the Patriots lost to the Jets, I would be calling for Bill Belichick's head and saying that you should fire him.
Time
100%.
Out. I think Babz, wait a minute.
And Bill we trust.
Really?
I'm always a guy who says, in Bill we trust. But there is a time and a place. And if you lose to the New York Jets, and it's not just the New York Jets, it's the Zach Wilson New York Jets.
Oh, shit.
The team that you, and it was close.
Yeah.
It was close.
Yep.
I don't care if it was a moral victory loss where it was you know how I was just talking about earlier about dangling that carrot in front of him? If they lost on Hail Mary, I'd still say you fire him. You should not be in that position where you're losing to the New York Jets. This is the alternate universe. We're not there. We didn't touch it, luckily. I'd say you'd have to call for his head at that point. There's no way around it. I mean, you're 0-3 to start a season.
Yeah.
And that's how tight of that rope that we were just on.
Yeah.
It's even someone like me, who tries to be the moral victory, like let's keep it going, optimistic, I would be calling for Bill Belichick.
I wish I recorded that when you were saying, "Oh my God, Cliff." The hug that you gave Ramon when the win, I said, "Oh my God,
that was a
moment." Yeah.
Game, I wouldn't even want to be thinking about that day anymore.
Yeah.
Just like plenty of games I've gone to,
Move
done
on.
some fun things.
Let's move
I don't
on.
think about it anymore. You move on. Just like move on from Bill Belichick. It's it. It's over. Super Bowls are in the past. You know, he's saving his job little by little.
Yeah.
He's like, he likes to be on that tightrope. Like,
but why? I'll never understand it.
It's
You know
weird.
what, ladies and gentlemen, right now I just felt like just vomiting real quick because I never thought that you would ever
I just wanted to be
say
in the
that.
alternate universe because it was in the back of my mind on Sunday. What am I going to talk about if the Patriots lose this game?
Yeah.
Like if they're going to lose this game, there was a possibility they could
We want to
lose.
thank you for saving the product because
thank you.
we don't know what we would have done.
I don't even want to film.
But you know what? Speaking of alternate universe, the NFL and the universe went a little crazy with this thing. Even my wife was like, "Shut the hell up!" And what's your thoughts on this? First of all, you shaved your beard, dude. You shaved your beard.
She's going to be there Sunday Night Football in New York. She's going to be there. Guy Jake in Boston, he's always on Felger and Mazur, Zolak and Bertrand talked about that and said, like, it's just the perfect storm. Taylor Swift, Roger Goodell, Sunday Night Football.
That script?
Michelle has been all over this too because she's like, it's all over my feed. It's all I see, the Swifties. I'm not going to completely question, Kelsey.
Yep.
I thought Kelsey likes his women a little bit darker. That's just, I thought that, Cliff.
Maybe she's trying it out. You know what I mean?
But it's a crossover the NFL probably wants.
Yeah.
At this point, it's also great for Taylor Swift. I mean, in terms of PR, it's great for both sides. I had this good debate with GRD. It's like I said, the NFL is a juggernaut in terms of money making.
100%.
Taylor Swift is way more popular than the NFL. And you guys might call me crazy, but Taylor Swift is like literally this generation of the Beatles. Is this generation of Elvis? Like she's selling out all the NFL stadiums, and she's doing it across the world too.
Yes.
All the major stadiums.
Thank you.
She
You beat
can
me
do
to the
that.
point.
So
international, baby.
it's great for the NFL for publicity. Let's handpick at least one guy.
One guy.
And this is the equivalent of probably 6 or 7 years ago if Rob Gronkowski was like dating Taylor Swift. That's the crossover you want. Now, it's way different, but it's the best team in the league, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. Mm-hmm. So you got that publicity there. People know who they are all around the world. Mm-hmm. Travis Kelce, who's the tight end. He's Pat Mahomes' favorite target.
He's a winner.
Super Bowl champion.
Yep.
He's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
People loved his story with his mom and the Kelce brothers, and they have a podcast.
Yep.
So it was the perfect storm for all it to happen, whether it's fabricated or not. I'm getting sick of it because it's all over my feed.
Yeah.
It's all we're going to be talking about. Again, it's just part of the script for a couple weeks. I think she's going away on tour for a couple weeks, so we'll be done after this week, I think, hopefully, until it's playoff time, where I'm sure she'll be back at some point. I feel like the NFL is trying to use this as a way to get her to be the halftime performer. Giselle elevated Brady internationally.
Correct.
Right? Absolutely, like where Taylor's doing that for Kelsey right now and doing it for the brand of the NFL here in America and then also overseas too. So, I mean, it's just an interesting timeline for them. This is probably the best time to do it. You played the Bears, you smoked them. You're playing the Jets, you smoke them.
Yep.
She's a distraction.
Yes,
that should be gone after this. Like if I'm Kansas City, if I'm Andy Reid, I'm like, we can do it for these. Perfect timing to do it against the Bears.
We got your brother out of here. Now it's time for you to think. So just a lot of...
I know, it does help out moving on. I wonder how Brittany feels.
How is he?
Oh my God. Sorry. TikTok, by the way. This was hilarious. I was trying to explain to Michelle. She didn't get it. Maybe you'll get this.
Okay.
But someone was going on Brittany Mahomes' Instagram, seeing like who she follows, and she doesn't follow Taylor Swift, but she follows all the Kardashians. And they said, you're either a Kardashian fan or a Taylor Swift fan. You can't be fans of both of them.
Ooh.
So like they said, maybe there's a little bad blood in there.
Okay.
Where, like, maybe like, she's nice to Taylor and they're laughing this and that, but secretly she probably is not a big fan of Taylor Swift.
And she got that song Bad
Drama.
Blood.
Look at us now. Now we're doing the gossip.
Oh, this is disgusting. I don't even want to continue, man. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, my final thought as we're about to get out of here, because we're going to make it short. Be on the lookout. I got a small little recap, video I just did. It took me I don't know how long it took, but it was a lot of recording. I think it kind of took away from me truly experiencing the tailgate. So I've already started speaking to some of my friends and saying, hey, listen, I need you to back this up just to record. Shout outs to Rudely, DJ. He's a DJ and a fake camera guy. But he kind of held us down. He was able to kind of record a lot of things for me. So I'm appreciative of that, even though, like, it was weird. Like, as he's recording, right, and I'm looking at the footage, his hand's going down because he's just watching us instead of the
you
camera.
Kept telling him to
I'm like, yo, dude, what the hell are you doing? So in editing, he gave me more work, but it's all good and all good. But my final thoughts are basically, thank you. Like, seriously, thank you just for a lot of, for one, just for us continuing this, because this isn't easy. Two, shout outs for you being who you are and getting Corey to come out. And it was fucking hilarious that he still wore a Celtics jersey, but still supported, which was dope to me.
First of all, you see why I was like, I don't really want to record anything or do anything. I want to enjoy the tailgate. And now you're seeing it and you're like, wow. Like,
but shout outs to you for giving me a few minutes. Because you're like, Cliff, I don't really want to.
Number two, he definitely wore Celtic stuff because he's rooting for the Jets secretly. Number three.
No, really?
Number three, we had really good fucking seats. We were sitting front row and we, thanks to TickPick.
Yep.
And we were sitting front row and I fucking was like, I need to go to the bathroom. Like, I have to pee so bad. So I waited. The Jets had the ball. They got the ball. I go up. I didn't know where the bathroom was. Found the bathroom. Take a piss. Go grab beers. As I'm like grabbing the beers, Patriots got the ball back.
Yep.
Like, all right, good. I started going down. Patriots score. They scored before I could even get to my aisle. It happened right in front of our end zone, and fucking Corey was on the Patriots Instagram in the background. You could see his arms going up like this with the Farrell Brown touchdown. It was right there in front of us. I fucking hate that I should have been right there when it happened.
It's all right.
It is what it is. You know what I mean?
will come through again. Shout outs to them.
TickPick will come through.
Really great seats. You basically were on the field.
Yeah, it was a great time.
But yeah, man, what's your final thoughts? I'm going to give you it's going to be full camera because Des decided not to be around. But go ahead.
Full camera. So full camera here. My final thought is this. Mac Jones ain't a dirty player. We didn't even get to talk about this today, Cliff, but Mac Jones, I get it. People are saying it's bratty, it's petty, I don't see the big deal on it. I think people are trying to blow it up like he's out there like physically hurting people. It's part of the game. He needs to back up his game a little bit more if you want to continue doing stuff like that. But I'm not going to call it completely dirty. It is what it is. You don't know what's happening on those bottom of the piles and people are pinching and they're trying to hit each other in the nuts, this and that. Call a spade a spade. I mean, if he's getting hit and something happens dirty to him, he's just going to do it right back. He's got to back it up. My fear is this, Cliff. My fear is that I think some of the players don't like the way he's acting. They might see it's bratty. And you might see one or two of the offensive linemen just shuffle their feet a little bit too much on the opening drive, and Micah Parsons is going to come right through and lay Mac Jones right down into the ground. So we'll see about that. But I do think that overall, I didn't think he was so dirty. I thought the amount of time and effort that Sauce Gardner and everyone's trying to spend to look at fucking nutsacks is stupid.
It was a little weird. I'd say it's a little extra, but I will say, Mac, if you're doing it, man, let's stick to football. W's come better. They're better than these little antics. We don't do that here in New England, even though I think there's been some dirty players back in the day. I'm not going to name names, but I've seen it, and I've been told stories. But, yeah, man, the NFL is just weird. Weird in the sense of when we start to lose, for whatever reason, they still want to just talk more shit about the Patriots.
Yeah.
I get the 6 still stings because we're still living off the 6. But I think now it's not about the Patriots anymore. Kansas City, it is who it is. And you can see, as Babz said earlier, they have a script. He's with the Swifties, international, Tom Brady, Giselle, same thing. The formula works. I will be disgusted, but at the same time, in producer heaven, if they were to win, and then they just get those two, and then you see the kiss as he wins MVP, and that'd be too much. That'd be too much. But it would be fucking Hollywood. Hollywood's no longer in strike.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna write that up.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, man. So that's my final thought.
To do a little round table. I'm sure I'll see you on there at some point during the game, pre-game, halftime, post-game, and hopefully a Patriots W, because that's where everyone gets excited.
That's what we need.
Right away after the bat. And then, the next couple weeks a little shaky on my schedule, but I'm sure that we're going to be somewhere for the Raiders game, and we'll do something for that, and then we'll continue going forward. Just got to keep getting these wins.
That's it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and goyles, I want to thank you. I want to thank TickPick again. Shout outs for the tickets, for real. These guys did awesome. That's where to go. Screw the fees. Screw the fees. Stay tuned. We're going to be sending you guys some more information about that. And on that note, guess what? I'm out of here. Peace.
Yeah, you know that Babz on his weekly rant. These are just my cliff notes at Gillette. You can hear them scream when we touch the end zone. We ain't here to wrestle with you or put up a fight. We give you the raw news each and every Monday.